Fever coach Stephanie White rants on straight-up hateful nonsense, circling WNBA, Alyssa Thomas. Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White delivered an impassioned statement before practice Wednesday regarding the treatment of Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas, who said she has received death threats and been called racial slurs following an in-game incident with Caitlin Clark on June 24th. White called the vitriol being directed at Thomas absolutely unacceptable and said it's likely coming from people who are using the WNBA and its players to further divisive, hateful narratives. I think for the league as a whole, there's been so much more toxicity, racism, homophobia, straight-up hateful nonsense, and it is absolutely unacceptable, White said during a 2-minute opening statement. Most of it is coming from the online community. In my heart of hearts, I believe most of it is not coming from WNBA fans or Indiana Fever fans. And it is exactly right. We get to play a basketball game. White continued, yes, that's going to come with criticism, and yes, that's going to come with fans and the love-hate relationship they have with players and teams. But it's not hard to not be a jerk. And if you're one of the people who's online doing this, do not call yourself a WNBA fan. White's comments came less than 24 hours after Thomas met with reporters in Phoenix for the first time since being suspended one game for recklessly making contact with her fist to Clark's throat area during last week's game in Indianapolis. The incident occurred when Clark fell to the ground while driving to the basket in the second quarter. She managed to roll the ball out to Aaliyah Boston as a trio of Phoenix defenders, including Thomas, converged on her. Thomas appeared to knee the Fever guard in the groin as she went in for the ball, then pressed her fist onto Clark's neck while getting up and stepped over Clark once to her feet. A foul was not called on the play, which White called egregious during a fiery post-game news conference, before blasting the officials for also missing an apparent landing space foul against Clark moments later. Absolutely disrespectful, White said. We have a generational talent and a WNBA superstar who had 2 cheap shots right there that weren't called, and again, absolutely unacceptable. For her part, Thomas denied any malicious intent and called the contact with Clark a complete accident, adding she did not know the play happened until she saw clips online later that night. If you watch the play back, no one in the stands, their bench, knew that it happened, Thomas said. A lot of us, myself included, didn't even know it took place until after the game, and now we're being painted as thugs, and there's death threats out on us. It's really unacceptable. It's something that needs to change in this league. In addition to the death threats and racial slurs, Thomas said she and her family have had their addresses leaked online. Thomas and White were with the Connecticut Sun during Clark's rookie season, when they swept the Fever in the opening round of the 2024 WNBA playoffs. There were a lot of the same things being posted online, Thomas recalled, but not to this extent. Families are being threatened. Kids are being threatened. People are sending racial slurs and all types of stuff, she continued. There's a difference between trolling and hatred. The hatred that we're experiencing over a play that, honestly, was a complete accident is just unfortunate. The league has to do better in this instance. Thomas said she still had not heard from WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, but a person familiar with the situation told Indy Star that Engelbert exchanged texts and offered to get on a call with Thomas last week. Engelbert also immediately directed league security to get in touch with Phoenix security once hearing about the threats. The WNBA vehemently condemns any and all forms of hate. The safety and well-being of everyone in our community is always the league's top priority. Engelbert wrote in a statement released Tuesday, "We are aware of Alyssa Thomas's comments, and what she and her teammates have experienced is completely unacceptable and not representative of the WNBA community." Asked about the commissioner's involvement or alleged lack thereof from the start, White replied, "When there's a lack of communication, the void is filled with negativity, and being able to communicate, being able to be the one who reaches out first is important. So yeah, I'm sure if I was in that situation, I would have wanted to hear from the league," she said. But none of U.S. can control social media. White went on to say that while social media can be minimized, that's not always an option for players, many of whose brands are linked to their social media profiles. We can't control that, but we need to continue to put whatever we can in place to support, to help, she said. From a human standpoint, checking on one another is important too. To that end, Through the WNBA's No Space for Hate platform, all players have access to Social Protect, which detects, reports, and deletes hateful comments from players' social media pages. Our league is about inclusiveness. Our league is about competition. Our league is about elevating women, elevating marginalized communities, and being inclusive of all different walks of life. White said, "That is what our league has always been about from day one. And we will continue to compete at a high level, hold ourselves to a higher standard, continue to be at the forefront of social norms, and we will continue to support one another collectively as a league. We're about elevating here. We're not about demanding," she concluded. "We are not about continuing this narrative." White said she has not spoken with Thomas or Phoenix Mercury coach Nate Tibbetts, whom she coaches with for USA basketball, but expects to connect with them when the Fever travel to Phoenix on July 9th.